will be a first ballot Hall of Famer 5 years after he retires. The Lakers may have gotten the center they've been looking for. They signed free agent DeAndre Ayton to a 2-year contract. Ayton, the number one pick in the 2018 NBA draft, averaged 14.4 points and 10.2 rebounds last season with Portland. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian, with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tavis Smiley, glad to have you with us in this final hour of our program today. What an amazing conversation that was with Professor Jefferson. Good Lord. She was dropping bars all throughout that dialogue, and just delighted to have been in conversation with her in that hour. In this hour, as promised, 2 conversations on the B side of this hour. Essie Adujan on her best-selling book, Washington Black, which is now an 8-part limited series on Hulu, starring and executive produced by the brilliant thespian Sterling K. Brown. But we commenced this hour in conversation with Emmy Award-winning news anchor Shannon LaNier, who just happens to be the 6th great-grandson of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings. Among other things, he's also an actor who has a role in the latest Tyler Perry project called Duplicity. I am delighted to have Shannon LaNier on this program. Shannon, how are you today, sir?
Hey, I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much for having me, as always.
It's good to have you on this program, man. For those who are curious about how you are, in fact, the 6th great-grandson of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings, I know this comes up all the time in your life, but one more again, share with us how that came to be.
Well, basically through the oral history, it's passed down that I am a descendant through Thomas Jefferson, along with the woman he enslaved, Sally Hemmings. And they had multiple children together, and I am a descendant from their son, Madison Hemmings, and on down from Madison through the generations. So I'm a 9th generation, which makes me the 6th great-grandson as a direct descendant of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings.
Yeah. How do you wear that garment, Shannon?
It's a difficult thing because, I mean, we are who we are, and despite how it happened, I'm here because of that. And, you know, it's been a journey, I would say. You know, when I was a kid and I raised my hand in 2nd grade and told the entire class Thomas Jefferson is my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, you know, I had pride and I was excited and proud, although the teacher said, sit down and stop telling lies. Don't worry. My mother came to school the next day and corrected the teacher and said, "Don't tell my son he's lying." But she also taught us an important lesson to be strong in the belief of who we are and do not let others define us for us. So that's one important lesson she taught us. But, growing up, you're just proud. You're like, oh, I'm related to a president. And then as I got a little older, I started to realize who this president was. Yes, he did some great things for this country, Declaration of Independence, so on and so forth. But he also owned more than 600 people. He was a slave owner. And so I know people sometimes don't want me to tell the story, or they think I'm flexing or bragging or something. I'm like, no, it's just the reality of the situation. And I can't let it go because enough people want us to forget our history. And I have to hold him accountable and this country accountable for what happened. And I'm here because of it. So to deny that will be to deny my ancestry, to deny all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that family, into my family, into this building of this country. So I won't deny it and I won't let it go. And I would prefer to, as my co-author Jane and others say, hold the mirror up to America and show the country why it is the way it is now.
Yeah. When your mother first, let me back up. How old were you when your mother first told you the story of your lineage?
I don't remember a certain age. It's just one of those things that we just knew. Oh, yeah, Thomas Jefferson, said related to him. And, I had an uncle who would always give us $2 bills on our birthdays and stuff like that. So it was just one of those things I've known my entire life. There was no revolutionary moment or time that it was said that, oh, by the way, it's just always known.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that there was a later point in your life at which you started to really wrestle with this. When was that moment? And I'm just curious, tell me more about why and how the wrestling began.
I believe it was probably in college because we started to learn more about the descendants, and I took African American studies classes at Kent State University and started to really dive deep into African American history and culture and studying abroad as well, and learning the full impact of who people were and what slavery was, and just a deeper understanding of my family and the juxtaposition of knowing who I am, but also having this history and knowing who he was and what he did. So it was just one of those enlightening things that happened when I started to really delve deep into who he was as a person, what he stood for, the contradictions that he lived with, and the fact that, some people say, oh, but he had in the first draft of the Declaration of Independence that people should be freed, but yet he never did anything or moved towards doing anything to make that a reality. And he could have in his own household. So, it's just a difficult thing to deal with. It's as complicated as the history of this country because abolitionists, he once wrote, Thomas Jefferson, there goes a man who, he said something, I'm going to get it wrong, but something to the effect of never before has a man receiving such accolade and acclaim for something he did not do because he could have done more. He was the most powerful person in the country. And he chose not to because he also liked the perks that came along with the free labor.
Just getting started in this conversation with Shannon LaNier, who is, again, the sixth great-grandson of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings. A great deal more to cover when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Freedom is an endless meeting, so let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, glad to have you with us in this hour of our program. Quick update here. Hakeem Jeffries has finally stopped speaking. He has broken a record on the House floor. Cory Booker broke a record not long ago on the Senate floor, surpassing Strom Thurmond for the longest filibuster in the history of the Senate. A black man now holds that record in the Senate, and a black man now holds a record in the House. Hakeem Jeffries went 8 hours plus in what's called the Magic Minute. The Magic Minute is a procedure in the House which grants House leadership unlimited time to speak on the floor after debate on a bill as concluded. After on a bill that's concluded. It's a tactic used to delay or prolong a vote, obviously, often employed by the minority party, as it was today, to voice their opposition to objections to a bill. Essentially, it allows the leader to take the floor and speak for as long as they choose, obviously impacting the legislative process. And so Kevin McCarthy, former House Speaker, had that record. But today, Hakeem Jeffries breaks that record, 8 hours. What was the exact time for Roger? Come here, I can't see it. 8:30? He went 8 hours and 30 minutes? 8:22, okay. He went 8 hours and 22 minutes, thank you. 8 hours and 22 minutes went Hakeem Jeffries as the minority leader, holding up the vote on this big ugly bill, as people are calling it. And so now the way has been cleared for this vote to take place. And I expect, as I said earlier in today's program, that this bill will likely pass today. I have a hard time believing that the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, would call for a vote and say we're prepared to proceed the minute Hakeem Jeffries stops speaking. I have a hard time believing he'd, again, call for the vote and not have the votes he needs to pass this big, ugly bill. And so Donald Trump apparently will get his wish if all things go as I expect they will. Republicans later today if not already voting, will pass this big ugly bill. Donald Trump will get it and have the opportunity, as he wished, to sign it on July 4th, Independence Day. So there's your update. Hakeem Jeffries, again, sets a record in the House for holding that lectern longer than anybody else at 8 hours and 22 minutes. So, again, you got two black men who are 8 hours and 44 minutes. I'm sorry, an update. I said 8:22. It's actually 8:44 technically. So they've done the math on this. So 8 hours and 44 minutes. They want to short him 22 minutes. So 8 hours and 44 minutes. Hakeem Jeffries went as the minority leader, holding up the vote on this bill. And again, as I said earlier, I don't know that speechifying makes a difference. But what he was able to do is to spend this time getting the news media to cover him as he laid out all the things wrong with this big ugly bill and all the damage, all the harm, all the maiming. As I said the other day, even the death. And I say that not being, apoplectic or being hyperbolic, but I say it because when you cut Medicaid, somebody's going to die. When you cut programs, again, like Medicaid and the SNAP program for kids, there'll be some death connected to this. Donald Trump and these Republicans, as far as I'm concerned, will have blood on their hands. But I digress on that for now. But once again, Hakeem Jeffries has stopped speaking now after 8 hours and 44 minutes on the floor of the House, the well of the House, as they call it. And so now the deck is cleared for Republicans to move forward with their votes on this big ugly bill, get it to Donald Trump. And this will be all the news tomorrow, of course, on July 4th, as Donald Trump will apparently have the opportunity to sign that bill on Independence Day as he wished. Our guest right now, though, is Shannon LaNier, who just happens to be, speaking of presidents, the sixth great-grandson of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings. Shannon, I asked you earlier how you wear this garment, and I appreciate the answer that you offered to me and the audience. But when you have this, when you grow up in this sort of frame, how do you go about finding your own way, your own place in the world, your own calling, your own vocation? How do you, find your way into that?
Well, I just followed my heart. I always wanted to entertain in some form or fashion. That's just what I gravitated towards. So, though I have many impressive ancestors in my family and educators and doctors and lawyers or what have you, I had to find my own path. And so I followed my heart to want to be on television and act and do social media. So it was one of those things that I was blessed. I feel like I was blessed because a lot of people search their whole life. What am I going to do? What was I put on earth to do? And I just always knew I was the kid who was running around with a video camera, making home videos and, making my family sit down and watch my silly skits and things that I used to do. So it was only natural that I would become a television news anchor, a host, and now actor as well. And plus, I feel like with the rise of social media, I'm able to feed all of those urges in my system to want to entertain with social media, because my family and I have a social media page, mainly at Mr. Shannon LaNier across social media platforms, where we do silly skits and funny things that make people laugh from a fatherhood perspective. So, I just also want to highlight that there are amazing fathers out here doing what they need to do 365 days of the year. And, I don't think that the fathers get enough credit for being good, positive dads who are present in their children's lives. Yeah. So that's one of the things I try to bring forward with my page, but also do it in a silly way. So if you want to get in a laugh, and if you're a parent especially, or have ever been someone's child, then you would definitely love to laugh at our page at Mr. Shannon LaNier on social media.
I'll come back to fatherhood in just a second, I promise. First, the news anchoring piece. Given that you have been, of course, a news anchor, I wonder what your read is of the way that the news media is showing up or not in the era of Donald Trump. I don't mean to make you political, but again, there's so many stories about the media just bending the knee in this particular moment. And you were so earnest and honest and transparent about your critique of Thomas Jefferson. I wonder how you are processing the way the corporate news media is bending the knee in this moment of Trump 2.0.
Well, it's definitely a different era from when I came into news. When I first studied news and grew up in understanding this industry, we reported the facts. Now it's all I don't even think half of the news programs are news programs. They're talk shows because they're talk shows with information because they're just telling you what they think and what they want to hear and their slant on it. I just want to know the facts and I want to be able to make a decision myself on how it's presented. But, regardless, there's always been an angle of, I guess, influence in the news that depends on what stories they're picking, how they're portraying those stories, whether they say a suspect or whether they say, mental health issues or someone is just a murderer. So it's all about how they present the information. And unfortunately, some don't present it fairly as others.
Yeah.
But I would prefer if people stick to the facts when reporting. Let me decide how I feel about it.
Back to fatherhood. I promise we get back to this right quick. You are a father, obviously, and there are many others listening right now who are fathers. But I appreciate the way and respect the way that you have leaned into this fatherhood thing with your platform and your videos, et cetera, et cetera. Tell me why. Again, this is fascinating for me, given that, again, you are the sixth great grandson of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings. Tell me why the fatherhood issue so resonates with you.
I think because in a deeper sense of history and culture, so many of our families have been torn apart, whether you talk about slavery, whether you talk about the prison system or whatever. So many of our families have been torn apart and so many people have grown up without fathers that I wanted to be able to show that there are amazing fathers out here that are taking care of their responsibilities. And I'm not the only one. I'm not a unicorn. There are so many of my friends are amazing fathers as well. And so I wanted to highlight that and show people that there are people out here like myself, but also there's so much negativity in the world. As a news anchor, I always was talking about death and murder and fires. I was like, this is depressing. I wanted to have an opportunity to make people smile and laugh and have fun and appreciate the life that they have. So that's why I chose to take a more silly angle towards my social media so people can laugh and have fun. And, sometimes there's hidden messages in there or tricks to the trade of parenting and how to discipline your kids. But ultimately, it's to show that regardless of how you feel about my parenting, I'm present and I'm here and I love my kids and there's nothing I wouldn't do for them.
Speaking of fatherhood, here's a clip from Tyler Perry's Duplicity. Shannon and I both mentioned earlier in this conversation that amongst many other things he has done and does, he's also an actor. So here's a scene from Tyler Perry's Duplicity.
Hey, don't forget.
Yeah, I got it.
Stand by. We're live
No,
in
you
60.
don't. Come on, Liz. You can't sit me out here looking
We're
like
live
this.
in 60.
Hey.
Okay, people, we're live in 1 minute.
Long night? You never drink coffee.
Kids, nightmares, and so on.
30 seconds.
Love the colors, by the way.
Okay, we're on in 10.
Thank you. It's springtime.
And 10.
Get ready to take camera 1. Start moving background.
3, 2.
Good morning, everyone. I am Fayla Blackburn.
And I'm Shannon Marcus. Welcome to Early for Us on Channel 3.
It's a big day for Republican legislation. Governor Wilson has made it clear he will veto any bill that doesn't take into consideration the price of health care for our seniors.
Shannon, talk to me about being a part of that project, Tyler Perry's Duplicity.
Oh, what an amazing experience. First of all, it was amazing because I got to play a news anchor whose name is also Shannon. Different last name. I'm Shannon LaNier. He's Shannon Marcus. But it started off with a phone call. I just finished anchoring the news. I was at Cheddar News at the time. And I get a phone call from someone saying, Tyler Perry would like to speak with you. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, this is interesting. Why? She said, I don't know. He just told me to get you on the phone, so that's what I did. I said, okay, that's how it is. He'll find you when he needs you. And he says that he saw me on television. I inspired a character for his new movie, and he wanted to know if I would like to play myself or if he should hire someone to play me. And I was like, bet, I'm playing me. Let's go. I was like, no way I'm giving that away. So it was an amazing experience. He is just so talented. And it was like so many amazing actors and actresses that worked on this film. I got to learn so much from them as well. I had acted before in a lot of small roles, but this was by far my largest and most extensive role yet. So it was just an amazing experience to be on set and learn from so many. You heard Megan in there with me, and you had Nick Barada in there as well in that scene, and just watching them act, and it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah. What
And Megan Tandy's her last name, by the way. Look Megan Tandy up; she's amazing.
Yeah. What do you make of your Hollywood experience?
It was enough to make me leave the news industry temporarily to say I'm going to pursue this full time because it was just such an amazing experience. And the problem is other studios may not treat us as great as Tyler Perry Studios treated us, but it was an amazing experience that I'll never forget. And hopefully it won't be the last one. Hopefully I'll continue to have opportunities to work with Tyler Perry Studios and other studios out there and other amazing actors that I can continue to learn from, because I think it's one of those things you never can stop honing your skill. You never can start practicing it and learning from other people. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, technically I act every day on social media, but it's a different level of professionalism when I'm doing it in my kitchen and then doing it for a huge studio production like that. So it was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. I've already started doing, small commercials and different things here and there, but the next movie is coming. I'm claiming it. If anybody needs an actor, I got you. Call me.
What is it about the acting thing that so resonates with you, Shannon?
I like being somebody else, taking on different characters, and I like being in projects that are going to be seen by the world. I love being able to be in something that will live on and last much longer than, the time that I'm on this earth.
Yeah.
And it's fun to be able to do stuff that my family can see as well. Because I always knew you was going to do something, making those home videos. And, so my parents can say, see all that money we spent on that boy, it paid off.
Yeah. I want to circle back as I close this conversation. I got 90 seconds to go. I want to close this conversation going back to what we started with. Again, you're being the sixth great-grandson of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings. You've said before that you believe you inherited the best of both worlds. In 90 seconds, unpack that for me.
I think I got a little bit of everything. People talk about the slaves that used to exist here. Well, I don't like to just focus on slavery. I like to focus on that I come from the strongest people, the smartest people, the people that were able to survive the unthinkable, that they were able to go through and give their blood, their sweat, and their tears to this country to make this country what it is. And I know some people say, well, I don't want to celebrate the 4th of July. I'm just going to celebrate Juneteenth. Well, I think it's important that we celebrate both, because my family built this country on both ends, whether you're talking about Thomas Jefferson or Sally Hemmings' family or all the other people that lived at Monticello and all the other slaves around this country. We built this country. So yes, I'm going to celebrate this country because it is still one of the best countries in the world. And my family helped found this, giving, again, their blood, their sweat, their tears, every nail that they put into building this country, the foundation of this country. Thomas Jefferson wouldn't be able to do half of the things he did without all the enslaved people that made it possible for him to be able to survive to do those things. So yes, I'm proud of both sides of my family and all that they have done to be able to create this country and to create the freedoms that we have now. And it's more important than ever for us to remember that and to make sure it's not forgotten.
Point well taken. Tomorrow is, of course, July 4th, Independence Day, and so perfect timing for a conversation with the sixth great-grandson of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemmings, Shannon LaNier, who can be seen in the most recent Tyler Perry project called Tyler Perry's Duplicity. All the best to you, Shannon, in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. But for now, thanks for this conversation. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Be blessed.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Heading out for the 4th, TSA says be ready with a real ID or passport. 94% of travelers are compliant, but if you're not, expect delays and extra screening. Here's TSA spokesperson Jessica Mail.
But we definitely expect there will be travelers this weekend who maybe have not traveled in the past 2 months, so it'll be kind of a new test for travelers and for us to see where that number shakes out.
She says plan ahead to keep your trip smooth and give yourself lots of extra time. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries delivered a marathon speech slamming a GOP-backed bill tied to President Trump's agenda. He warned it could cut Medicaid and SNAP benefits, calling it an attack on the social safety net. And rainy weather could impact 4th of July celebrations across Florida and the Southeast, where many black families gather for reunions and festivals. A possible tropical system is brewing in the Atlantic, and storms are expected to stick around through next weekend. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
There were two special moments at Dodger Stadium last night when the Dodgers played the Chicago White Sox. Freddie Freeman delivered a game-winning single in the bottom of the 9th inning to cap a 3-run rally and give the Dodgers a 5-4 win. In the 6th inning, Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw struck out White Sox third baseman Vinny Capra to reach 3,000 strikeouts. All 3,000 came during Kershaw's 18-year career with the Dodgers. Kershaw became the 20th Major League pitcher to add the legendary milestone to his Hall of Fame resume. Kershaw will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer 5 years after he retires. The Lakers may have gotten the center they've been looking for. They signed free agent DeAndre Ayton to a 2-year contract. Ayton, the number 1 pick in the 2018 NBA draft, averaged 14.4 points and 10.2 rebounds last season with Portland. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey man, hey, what's up? What's that station you listening to? Oh man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio, KBLA 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA AM. 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education to know. Ooh, yeah. 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
KBLA 1580 Talk Radio. Get like me. Ooh, KBLA 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing, nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen, listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the ain't no stopping us now. We got to do. Ain't no stopping us now.
Freedom is an endless meeting, so let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
I know you know someone that has a negative vibe, and if you're trying to make it, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going, they don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're gonna put our show together, gonna polish up our act. Wow. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing, nothing stand in your way.
Freedom is an endless meeting, so let's get back to it with Tavis.
To every word I say, every word I say. No, no, no. We're moving, we're grooving. We're moving, yeah, yeah. We're grooving. Moving, moving, moving.
I'm Tavis Smiley. Glad to have you with us in this final half hour of our program today. We are having some technical difficulties. I apologize for that. But the show must go on, as they say here in Hollywood. What an amazing show it's been for the last 2.5 hours. We had a guest scheduled, and as is the case sometimes in live radio, we can't find them. And there's nothing worse than having a guest just disappear on you at the last minute. And so I promised you a conversation with Essie Adujan about her book Washington Black, which is now a part of an 8-part limited series on Hulu, executive produced and starring Sterling K. Brown. I was looking forward to that conversation. Again, what happened, I do not know. What I can tell you, though, is that in case you've just tuned in, the House is now moving to vote on this big, ugly bill that Hakeem Jeffries was holding up for 8 hours and 44 minutes, breaking the record of Kevin McCarthy, who went 8 hours and 32 minutes. Love all these records. Love all these records that are being broken by these African American men. I think, there it is. So the House has passed this bill 218 to 214. I told you earlier in this program today that the minute that Hakeem Jeffries stopped talking, Speaker Mike Johnson said they were ready and prepared to vote on this big ugly bill. And it didn't take long. The vote went immediately. They went immediately into voting on this bill, and the House has passed this bill 218 to 214. Difficult to have it any closer than that. I was concerned, not concerned. I was not concerned. There were folk who were concerned that there might be some Republicans who would oppose this bill. The conservative caucus in the House was roaring as if they were going to push back on this for a variety of reasons. Any number of members, about 8 or 9 to be exact, members of the conservative caucus were talking out loud about parts of this bill that they didn't like. Some Republicans, and they were all over the map on it. Some Republicans were upset about the cuts to Medicaid. Why? Because they have poor folk in their districts. I keep saying this. In these red districts, there are a lot of poor white folk. I think we lose sight of the fact that in this country, never mind the narrative, but the majority of folk who are in poverty in this country are not black folk. They happen to be white fellow citizens. And so these Republicans were abundantly clear that these Medicare cuts were going to hurt people in their particular district. So there were folks who belonged to the conservative caucus who were concerned about, again, the cuts to Medicaid. There were other Republicans in the conservative caucus who didn't think that the cuts went far enough. So they were all across the map, as it were, on this particular bill. And so we were waiting and watching to see if there were going to be some Republicans who defected on the House side. You may recall that there were 3 Republicans who defected on the Senate side, joining Democrats, which led to a 50-50 vote in the Senate, which J.D. Vance, Vice President and President of the Senate, had to show up and break the tie. But three Republicans, that is, joined Democrats on the Senate side. As I recall, Rand Paul of Kentucky, Susan Collins of Maine, and Tom Tillis of North Carolina were the 3 Republicans who joined Democrats in voting against the bill in the Senate. But as I said earlier, J.D. Vance shows up and breaks the tie, so it passes literally by 1 vote in the Senate. It is passed now by just 4 votes in the House. So the big ugly bill will go to Donald Trump, and he will, as he expressed, get his opportunity to sign this big ugly bill into law tomorrow on July 4th, Independence Day. It's just hard to wrap my brain around the fact, and no naivete here, as I often say, but it's just hard to wrap my brain around the fact that Donald Trump is just running the table. He's just running the table right about now, and pretty much getting everything he wants. From the Supreme Court of the United States, from Republicans in the Senate, Republicans in the House. This is just a reminder that elections matter. Elections matter. And I'm not naive enough to tell you that voting is everything. It is not. And I'm not going to tell you, as people tend to say, this is the most important election of your lifetime. That kind of rhetoric just no longer works. But elections do have consequences. And today we are experiencing the consequences of a lost election. We were talking earlier in today's program with Professor Jefferson about the trauma that black women have endured and are enduring, given the loss of the presidency by Kamala Harris to Donald Trump. And so that pain is still being felt by many people, not just black women. But speaking of pain, the pain is really going to be felt now by Americans all across this country, literally from California to the Carolinas. The pain is going to be felt now that this big ugly bill has passed, and Donald Trump will sign it into law tomorrow. This pain is going to be enduring. It's going to be long lasting for years now. We're going to be wrestling with the pain brought on by this particular bill. So there you have it. Again, Hakeem Jeffries stopped his speech at 8 hours and 44 minutes, breaking the record of Kevin McCarthy at 8 hours and 32 minutes. So now both in the House and the Senate, black men have records for holding the microphone the longest. Hakeem Jeffries in the House, Cory Booker in the Senate, and again, Donald Trump will sign this big bill into law tomorrow. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time. Whenever news breaks, while we're on the air, it's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580. And we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Please be joined for a few moments here by my colleague Jesse Jackson Jr., a host of his own program on my home station in L.A., KBLA Talk 1580, for his immediate reaction to the House, where he served almost 20 years, passing this big, ugly bill. My time is tight, but what's your read of it, Jesse Jackson Jr.?
This is one of the most extraordinary moments in the history of the nation. If you're not paying attention, Tavis, to what Democrats have done, and those of you who are sitting on the sideline saying that Democrats aren't doing enough, you have to play back the 8 hours and more than 30 minutes, 8 hours and 44 minutes, I believe to be exact, of Hakeem Jeffries' oration that I think is going to go down in history, obviously, along with Cory Booker's, but in the annals of American history, right there with Frederick Douglass in 1852, when he asked, and they now ask the question, what to the American Negro does the meaning of 4th of July truly mean?
It is fascinating to consider that it will be on Independence Day, on the 4th of July, that Donald Trump will sign this bill that's going to do damage. We'll be hemorrhaging from this for years down the road, Jesse. Just tell me more about the pain that you think is in the offing for all of America, but especially for black people.
If Democrats don't come back in 2026 or 2028 with the presidency, the House, and the Senate with a bill to repeal this bill, you are so right, Tavis. We are talking about decades of devastation. It is impossible to have cardiac surgery, kidney surgery, liver surgery, or major constructive surgery on internal organs as a poor and indigent person in the United States without assistance from Medicaid. Medicaid is the key reimbursement component of major surgery for the poor. Every hospital, particularly in Black communities, Hispanic communities, poor working class, white, and rural communities, need some form of Medicaid assistance in order to take care of the kinds of surgical procedures, let alone just primary care, in order to provide care for those patients. You're looking at the massive closure of these institutions that without that particular benefit are profoundly in trouble. The bill also, Tavis, very quickly represents the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the United States for people who do not need that, effectively bankrupting the federal government and making it impossible for poor people to petition the government for a redress of their grievances on the questions of every conceivable disparity, from education to health care to hiring to the voting and to everything that you can conceivably imagine.
Tomorrow there'll be celebrations all across this country, literally from California to the Carolinas. The fireworks will be going all night, as they typically do on July 4th, Independence Day. But there's not a whole lot to celebrate tomorrow. Once Donald Trump fixes his pen, his signature, to this big, ugly bill. I appreciate my colleague, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., for giving us some sense of how damaging this bill is going to be again in the months and years to come. Jesse, I know you got to get ready for your show. I'll let you go. Thank you for your insights. I look forward to hearing your program today. Thank you, sir.
Tavis, can I give you 30 more seconds?
Sure, give it to me right quick.
Tavis, the National Guard in Los Angeles has not moved beyond the 1 square mile in downtown Los Angeles because Donald Trump has not had an open check to expand the National Guard presence beyond that 1 square mile. He now has $153 billion to occupy and put the National Guard in dozens of cities across the country. This is a real tragic moment that we all need to be prepared to understand what it means.
If you're listening to my home station in L.A., get ready for the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, 2 hours of insight. We need his voice today. He's going to break this down as nobody else can on the eve of July 4th and the signing of this big, ugly bill into law. Jesse Jackson Jr., I thank you, sir. I appreciate you. When we come forward, I've got my White House correspondent, Dr. Nicolai-Corte, on the line. I'll get his take on what's about to happen at the White House tomorrow with the signing of this bill in our remaining moments on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom. If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
LA County's Justice Care and Opportunities Department, also known as JCOD, is changing the justice system for Angelenos. If you or someone you love has recently been arrested, come home from jail or prison, or has been justice involved, JCOD can help. We offer access to housing, employment, court reminders, clothing, education, and more. At JCOD, we believe your life should not be defined by your worst moment, and everyone deserves a second chance. JCOD's Justice Connect Support Center is open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Call us at 833-LAC-JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit us at jcod.lacounty.gov. You can also find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube at LAC JCOD. All services are free and confidential. JCOD serves the justice-impacted population all across LA County. Your future isn't behind you, it's waiting. Reach out by calling 833-LAC-JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit jcod.lacounty.gov.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
I got 3 minutes left in this hour. Dr. Nicolai Corte is my White House correspondent. So it's going to go down at the White House tomorrow. Donald Trump got what he wanted. Nicolai, what do you make of it?
It is going to go down in a big way, Tavis. It's going to go down in a big way, Tavis. As you know, President Trump has spent a lot of political capital on getting this so-called big, beautiful bill through the finish line. It was touch and go late into the early morning hours, but this afternoon the bill did pass the House of Representatives. As Jesse Jackson Jr. mentioned, this is going to have an extraordinary impact for decades, not just years, decades to come, on a whole wide range of issues, from student loans to remittances to SNAP benefits, to Medicaid services. The list goes on and on and on. Yeah. This is a major legislative victory for one of the biggest political comeback stories of our time.
Yeah. What do you make?
Trump.
Now, to your point, I said this earlier. What do you make of the fact that it just appears on practically every front, Donald Trump is running the table? Nicolai, can you hear me?
It's a function of the weakness. I can't. Can you hear me? I was saying it's a function of the weakness of the Democratic Party. It's a function of a lack of vision, a lack of vision for the future. And look, we've got to spend a lot less time reading polls and a lot more time talking to everyday people and making sure that they're clear on what's in bills like this, how it's going to impact them. To Jesse Jackson Jr.'s point, I think if Democrats don't run on repealing this, as Republicans ran on repealing the ACA, we may be in for a lot more trouble for many, many years to come, generations to come.
No, as I said, elections have consequences, and today we are witnessing, in the days ahead, we'll be feeling the consequences of having lost that last election and allowing Donald Trump to return to the White House. Again, tomorrow he's teed up for signing this big, ugly bill into law. We'll talk about it a great deal more, of course, next week on this program and in the days ahead. For now, I thank Jesse Jackson Jr. and Dr. Nicolai Corte for checking in with their initial thoughts and responses to what just happened in the House. The bill is passed 218 to 214, and so now Donald Trump will sign it tomorrow. I close my program there. Thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. Tomorrow is Friday, the best of Tavis Smiley on all these stations. Until then, and as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars until sentencing after being found guilty of transporting people for prostitution in New York City. Prosecutors are seeking a prison sentence of 4 to 5 years, with the judge to set a sentencing date later. Judge Subramanian denied bail, saying Combs has a pattern of violence that often happens behind closed doors and continues to break the law. The judge pointed to hotel security video of Combs beating Cassie Ventura in 2016 as clear evidence of domestic violence, and noted violence against another victim known as Jane in June of 2024. Ventura's attorney Doug Wigder also submitted a letter urging the court to deny Combs' release.
We're hopeful that ultimately he receives a substantial sentence for what he's done.
Federal agents raided Combs' homes in March of this year as part of the investigation leading up to the trial, which lasted around 7 weeks. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Burbank on the 134 eastbound. That's a slow drive away from Buena Vista. You're on the brakes all the way to the 2 into Eagle Rock. South 5 loading up in Burbank from just about Burbank. We'll make that Olive. You're on the brakes. It's a heavy drive into Elysian Park to Stadium Way. More slowing ahead off of the 110 and stretches all the way to the 605. And it's a tough drive right now as you make your way through Anaheim 91 eastbound, leaving the 55 freeway to Green River.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
There were two special moments at Dodger Stadium last night when the Dodgers played the Chicago White Sox. Freddie Freeman delivered a game-winning single in the bottom of the 9th inning to cap a 3-run rally and give the Dodgers a 5-4 win. In the 6th inning, Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw struck out White Sox third baseman Vinny Capra to reach 3,000 strikeouts. All 3,000 came during Kershaw's 18-year career with the Dodgers. Kershaw became the 20th Major League pitcher to add the legendary milestone to his Hall of Fame resume. Kershaw will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer 5 years after he retires. The Lakers may have gotten the center they've been looking for. They signed free agent DeAndre Ayton to a 2-year contract. Ayton, the number 1 pick in the 2018 NBA draft, averaged 14.4 points and 10.2 rebounds last season with Portland. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian, with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.